guys! Welcome to TezMania TV. In today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about practical advice for DIY projects. And we're gonna finish off by doing a small and simple DIY project today. I do a lot of DIYs, as you guys know by now. Not all of them make it to YouTube. Some things I just make for myself, and sometimes I'll just post a photo of something on Instagram. And earlier this year, like a couple months ago, I took apart an old bag for parts. I dissected it and kept all of the zippers because they were intact, but the bag itself was just kind of fucked and had to be retired. And then I had 3 other bags where the bag itself was intact, but the zippers were all broken. So I took the zippers that I detached from the retired bag and sewed the zippers onto the other bags, and then I had 3 fully functional bags without having to pay for anything. So again, this is going back to the idea of recycling and upcycling your items. No matter if it's clothing or jewelry or shoes or accessories or whatever it may be, always think about how you can try to fix something if it's broken or like damaged or whatever before you throw it away and go buy something new, because there are a lot of ways to save money and it's fun to do things by yourself as well. So I thought I would start off by mentioning a couple of tools that are handy to have when you like to do things like this. First off is an obvious one. It is a pair of scissors, and not just any scissors, these are fabric scissors. I actually got these from IKEA. Very cheap, but they're still really good. So if you're planning on cutting into fabric, it makes a huge difference to use a set of fabric scissors rather than just any kind of scissors, because these are particularly meant for cutting through fabric. So it's a lot smoother, it's easier to get a straight edge, it's faster, and yeah, it's just it's a good investment if you do a lot of DIY with fabrics. The second item is this little guy that you take apart like this. They come in different versions, and it looks like this. This thing you use to remove stitches from clothing or bags or like any kind of fabric. So this is what I use to remove all the zippers of the bag that I mentioned, and you just go through the seam and just kind of like whoop, open it up. Instead of having to cut through the fabric, it just saves the fabric if you want to reuse it for something else. Sorry about the weird lighting. The sun is kind of hiding and then coming back, so it's like Anyway, you also use this if you make a mistake while you're sewing. You have to go back and you're like, oh shit, I sewed across a seam I wasn't supposed to or whatever. Then you just go back and you open it up with this, and then you just go over it and sew it again. So this is a very handy tool to have. These you can find in a sewing utensil shop or a craft shop. They're very cheap because it's just like a little plastic thing with a little sharp edge on it. You can probably find it on eBay very cheap as well. So whenever I'm taking apart something, like I'm removing the sleeves from a jacket to turn it into a vest, or removing a broken zipper and then replacing it with a new one, like whenever you need stitches removed, this is the tool that you use. And then the third and final thing I'm going to show you, like there are a bunch of different tools, but just a couple of ones, not to make this video super long, are these. These are craft tongs or craft pliers. You have seen me use these in a bunch of videos. I use them to change my piercing jewelry. I use them to make jewelry. They're super handy to have 2 of, and you have one in each hand. You can kind of use them to move tiny parts. I'm going to be using these for the mini DIY that I'm going to do at the end of this video, and I just want to show you like how handy they are. And I bought a kit of like 8 different ones, I think. These are the ones I use the most. These are just regular grip ones, but then you have like wire cutters, you have like flat surface ones, you have rounded ones. These are the regular kind, just for like holding and moving and twisting things. So good for piercing jewelry, but also good for crafts and DIY. So these I got at a craft store. You can find them pretty cheap. If you live in Sweden, I'm pretty sure that Clas Ohlson has a set, or they at least have them individually if you just need the one. So yeah, and like all of these things I'm sure you can find on eBay and any kind of like crafts shop. These are not weird things. It's just a little reminder to have handy tools around the house, because if you try to do like teeny tiny things with your fingers and it's just you can't get a grip, and these are so handy. So the little mini DIY that we're doing today is using these chains. These are chains that I purchased secondhand from a Facebook group, and I paid only for the postage. She was just looking to get rid of them, and she was just happy to give them away for free as long as you paid for the postage. Obviously a real bargain. I love chains. There's so many things you can do with them. So what I thought I would do today, just to show you how I take apart pieces like this and put them back together into a simple chain necklace. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So this chain that's not black, I'm not going to use, but it came in the pack, so I just wanted to show you like how you can find parts like these very cheaply, either by buying them secondhand from somebody or by taking apart bags or clothes or whatever it may be that has these parts, but you don't want to use the item itself. It's just a very handy way to save time and money. So these very thick, lovely black chains are what we're using today, and I actually thought that I would use this thing that's already on it to open and close it. The length that they also work as bracelets. So I'll keep one of them as a bracelet to match the necklace. If you want something smaller to open and close rather than this pretty big thing, that I don't mind, I like the big stuff, but if you want something smaller, you can always go to a craft shop and pick up tinier versions, like this one, for instance, that I have on my chain with this little lock that I wear every single day. And if you want really petite, you can get one of these things that's on my other everyday chain. So many possibilities. We're gonna start by picking one of these and then removing this part right here. So I am gonna hold that with my tongs. Carefully bend it open. And just remove it. It's that simple. And then I'm gonna open this end right here and put those two together. And the tongs, if you're using black metal like I am right now, the tongs can kind of scrape the edge a little bit, which happened with this one. If you have tongs that don't have teeth, these have teeth, then that might be a way to avoid that, but I actually don't mind. It just kind of looks worn and torn. And then you want to have a look in the mirror to see how long it is. Right now it's choker length, which is a little on the short side. I think I want it to be at least down to here. So I'm going to take apart a third chain and add some more length to this one. So I'll have to remove this D-ring. And obviously I'm saving the D-rings. Let me get this piece. And I'm going to start by attaching them all the way and then see if I need to take more off. Obviously, the smaller or thinner the metal is, or the chain is, the easier it is to open these up. So this is the length we have now, and this is longer than I would like it. I want to make it quite short. So I'm going to continue by removing the D-ring because I don't actually need that to open and close it. I can just use this on one of the links themselves. And then what I'm doing is just trying it on and moving this thing further and further in, down along the links until I find a link that matches the length I want. I actually think this is good. It was this one, which means I only need to remove the outer two. Here we go, and it's done. That's it for this video. I hope you find it useful and helpful. And if you have any questions, turn to the comments section as per usual. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye!